Alright, welcome back to my channel here. For those of y'all following the long range on a budget, y'all know that I put a ER Shaw barrel because it was something that I could get readily available to throw on the Savage 110 action. Everything else about the 110 action is completely finished as far as the scope mount, stock, bolt handle. Everything else is done besides for a really good barrel. The ER Shaw barrel is a great hunting barrel, but for 1,000-yard shooting, it's really not the best barrel in the world. So what we done was we come along and we ordered a it's called a Xcailber barrel. It's fairly new to the new kid on the block. The barrel man kind of sold me on one and decided I was going to give it a shot. So this is how it comes. I haven't really seen anything online about the Xcailber barrel so far, so maybe this will be the first review for anybody that's planning on buying one. They've only been in business about a year, maybe a little over. But they're very nice guys. I hadn't even opened this or put it in my hand yet. I just got it. So I'm just kind of getting it, showing you here. So the AR Shaw was a 1 in 9 twist. This one is a 1 in 8 twist with a 11-degree target crown. It's supposed to be an inch diameter at the bore, or at the muzzle. 284 7mm mag is what it's chambered in, and 26 inches long is the finished product. So we're fixing to open it up. Paid about $350 for this barrel, so this would put us over the budget. But the barrel man's a really good guy. If you ever get a chance to talk to him, he'll take all the time in the world to make sure that you're happy. So we're going to go ahead and get it open here. If I can do this with one hand without cutting myself. So let's hold it up. May have to lay the camera down until I get it split open. I didn't want to do it before the camera, so hey, let me lay you down. Won't take long doing this here, the cutting part, because I'm just going to slip it out the end. Alright, we got it cut open. So, cut the end of it open. We can read the news from Montana. That's where these are based out of. Really good wrapping. They got bubble wrap and wrapped it up real good. So I'm going to pull it out there. They ship these FedEx, and I've had some problems with FedEx throwing my stuff around. So I'm really glad to see that they actually took the time to wrap it real good. We'll go ahead and get it tore open with our other hand. Alright, here we go. Oh yeah, they got a nice cap on the end of it. So go ahead and pull this sucker out. Oh yeah, there's your 11-degree target crown. Like it already. Yeah. They had a cup on the end to protect your threads. Savage don't have a extractor cut. Everything is on the bolt, so it's really easy to go ahead and do these. Now, from what I was told, so I can give you a shot down the barrel. Yeah. All right. What I was told that if you was to put a bore snake down, or a bore light through this thing, bore scope, that it's a mirrored finish, just like a Lilja. I talked to them for about an hour, called the company, and they were talking about the putting things together and doing side-by-side comparisons, and everybody seems to be happy with their barrels. So we're going to see. I'm going to probably shoot a video of actually sticking this on the rifle because I didn't get it last time, and I'll show you how to rebarrel one of these, and then I'll show you some after-shot groups. Alright, see you in the next video. Alright, I know my workshop's a mess, but I said I was going to show y'all how to rebarrel one of these. And it is hot in here, fellas. First thing you got to do is you got to strip the rifle. You got to take off the base. You got to take off your scope. You got to get it out of the action, get it out of the stock, which I've already done that. Once you get it out of the stock, you're going to go ahead and just lay it off to the side, because this is what you need right here, just the barreled action part. I'm going to stand this up over here. And what you're going to do is, this was the original barrel that came on the rifle. This is the ER Shaw. You can see the difference in size there. And this is what we're stepping up to. So we're going, it's kind of like a three-step process, I guess you could say. One thing you don't want to overlook while rebarreling one of these is, I just had it laying here and I do not know what I've done with it, is the original recoil lug. And if I find it whenever I stop the camera here in a second, I'll make sure and show it to you. But you want to upgrade your recoil lug. So I'm going to go ahead and stop it and get it in the vise. This is just a, it's called a bald eagle barrel vise. Go ahead and get some leather wrapped around it. Get it in here, and then I'll show you the actual rebarreling portion. Okay, we got her locked down. Now I have a little piece of leather inside this, and I am sweating like there ain't nobody's business in here. It's every bit 120 degrees. It's in the afternoon here. Humidity's high. Okay, so you put your piece of leather in this vise block, and you tighten the daggum teetotal piss out of these. Just tighten it down against that leather so it don't move. Now the barrel nut is on there from the factory at about 75 foot-pounds, and that takes a lot to break it loose on the first try. But I've rebarreled this one with a ER Shaw, and whenever I rebarreled it, I put it at 35 foot-pounds. The recommendation on them is in between 30 and 40 foot-pounds. So I put 35, just go with the middle, right? So it don't take nothing at all to break it loose. You just bow up on it. As soon as you get it bowed up on and you break it loose, this right here will just back right off without hardly any effort whatsoever. And what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of spin it out, trying to keep it straight by hand. And then once you get it all the way out, then all you got to do is put your new barrel in. Make sure you put your barrel nut on. And what I recommend is, whenever you first break the factory receiver, when you first break it off, I recommend that you replace your recoil lug with an aftermarket, which I still haven't found it. I forgot. I got caught up. And also your barrel nut. And the barrel nut wrench, it came with the barrel. It's an ER Shaw, but I'm using it for this. And it has round teeth on one end and square teeth on the other. That's for the two different kinds of nuts that they made. They also have a smooth one, but once you break that barrel off with a smooth one, you do that with a pipe wrench and just screw that nut up, because you're going to replace that nut anyway. Because you're going to always go back with a new barrel nut. Since I didn't tighten the teetotal crap out of this one, I didn't have to beat on it to knock it loose. I just barely put some oof on it and it come right off. I'm not going to worry about replacing the barrel nut this time. So we're going to stop the camera. I'm going to get the other barrel mounted up in here so it don't spin, and then we're going to go from there. Alright, now the putting the barrel back on portion. I found the other barrel locking lug. This is the original locking lug. See how it is straight? That's what it comes from with the factory. This is an aftermarket. It's 1/4 inch thick. You can order these off of eBay and some other places that you can accurize them with. If you put them up beside each other, you'll see the difference in the recoil lug. Alright, and they have a little pin right here. You can also use these for Remington 700. But this, with this pin in it, that's for Savage, and that basically locks into your receiver. Okay, so we have it locked down. I believe we got it tight enough. We've really wrenched on it. So now you might be saying, well, why don't you put one of them really big fat barrels in it if it's going to be a bench gun only? Well, you can only go as big as your barrel wrench, because it's got to come off down the barrel end. It can't come off the receiver end. So really, it's real simple to put it back together. After you have it wrenched down, you're going to need a go gauge. You can get away with just having a go gauge because you can put a piece of tape on the back of the go gauge and it'll make it a no-go gauge, but I have both. Go and no-go for the caliber that you're using. And this is the go gauge. So what you're going to do with that is you got to have your bolt in. You go ahead and slide your barrel nut up on it and your wrench. Your wrench needs to be on there to begin with. Don't make the mistake and have to pull it out. And on a new barrel nut, it's kind of a, you got to kind of work it. And I like to screw my barrel nut all the way forward. Once I have it all the way forward, and you have that pin facing the front of your receiver, there's a little notch in there. And this one has a hole because I have bedded the action. So it has a hole for that to go in, so I know where it goes. You just take and slip it on and do it in reverse of what you did a while ago. Very gently start to screw it forward. Once you have it good and screwed on and started, like so, line everything up and just let the recoil lug ride with the receiver. Kind of hold it down against it and run it forward. Once you get it on there a little ways, take your go gauge and stick it in the chamber. Not on there far enough for the go gauge. If you drop it like that, you need to wipe it off. Make sure you ain't got no little burrs or anything on it that you picked up off the floor, especially since I got machines in here that throw out little burrs. Make sure it's good and wiped off. Lay it down on that little towel. Alright. Now I should be able to get it in there. Stick that in the chamber. And you're going to close your bolt on it. Okay? Lock your bolt down. And then you're just going to screw this until you feel resistance, to where it's like it butts up against it. Not tight, just a very little bit of resistance, because that's setting your head space. Alright, there's my resistance. Once I feel resistance, I'm going to back off a quarter of a turn, and I'm going to use my fingers right here to just kind of very gently until I hit it again. Alright, there we go. I hit it again. That's where I'm going to lock it down. So you just back your barrel nut back down against it. Once it's down against it, well, just going to give it a little snug right there. Now, once I have it snugged up, in whatever position the wrench is at, I make sure my wrench is set to 45 foot-pounds, or 35 foot-pounds. Which it is. And I'm just going to lock it down until I feel a click. Alright, and that's pretty much your barrel job. After you've done that, you're going to want to Open it up, put your no-go gauge in it, and make sure the bolt doesn't close. Your go gauge will come out. You'll stick your go gauge in it, and the bolt shouldn't close. Whenever that is, you're properly headspace. Then you just reassemble the rifle, and you're good to go.